Hello everyone, this is Sim here from the Fusing Shop, and in today's glass blowing video we're going to be learning how to make a 45mm male bong bowl. Bong bowl is pretty fun to say, at least I think that's what these are called. You guys could leave me a note in the comments if you have heard them called other things. So I'm just have my joint holder right here on the left, chucked up in the lathe, and I have my blue tubing coming in. First thing we're going to do is like that video, guys. Go smash that like button. This video I had to redo like 5 times just to get it right. So hit me with some love and smash that like button, please. It is greatly appreciated. Again, because this video did take me an enormous amount of time to make. Anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong with this video. So I'll get into that in a minute. Right now I'm just heating up that tubing up to that line that I just formed, making sure it gets nice and melty hot. And then put it in until it hits the line, and then puff, puff, puff. Give some gentle puffs. I don't want to hear any erotic comments in the comment section, guys. Let's keep this clean. We know what things look like, and let's be adults about it. So I reheated again, went in, gave some puffs, doing the same thing again. Puff, puff, puff. Better to work in small movements with the glass than to make the glass do big movements in one shot. So we want to keep this nice and thick on the end, because this is going to go in and out of our pipe and it's going to get a lot of use. So we have to make sure that that glass is nice and even and thick on the bottom. Right now I'm loading up a punty, and we're going to build the rest of the male bowl off of this. So make sure you get this nice and juicy hot. And you definitely want to go with the hot seal, because as I mentioned before about all the problems with this video, one of them was that I did not seal this properly, and my joint wound up flopping all over the place. I was thinking like, maybe I should just cut it from the video. I don't want to let people see that I messed up. But you know, messing up is part of life. So knowing how to fix your mistakes and get back on track is very important as well, guys. So right there, I just did my cold seal. I would call it a hot seal, but it did not work out. And now I'm heating up the very bottom of the tube. I'm going to make a condension and close down that glass a little bit, so we get a nice bowl that we don't need to use a screen with, which is really convenient. I believe in having only natural materials, and if you could avoid, putting metal in there, by all means do so. So you could see my punty popped off, and now my holder is flopping around. It's okay. What we're going to do is reheat where we were heating before. We're going to use the graphite paddle and get that back as close to center as we can. And you would do the same thing if you were doing this by hand. Just go ahead, slow down, reattach, straighten everything out. It's part of the process. Sometimes things happen. And an important thing to know is how to fix them and just get right back on track. So I'm going and reattaching that punty at the front again, making sure again I get a good hot seal this time, so this does not break off again. And back into condensing down that glass. I'm using the graphite to keep everything nice and even, and giving gentle puffs in, not out. So I'm actually sucking a little bit in to help that glass close down on itself. I'm also slowly closing in the tailstock to give it a little bit more glass to condense. And just keeping that heat exactly where I want that glass to close down. Using the paddle, keeping the heat. Gentle movements. Small, gentle movements. And now we're just getting that glass all nice and evened out. Alright, in this shot you could see my joint is a little bit off, but that's okay. We're going to fix that at the end. At least we were able to recover this piece without it completely going down the toilet. So now that we've condensed the glass, I'm going to take off my blow hose because we're done with the blowing portion of this. And before I do that, I'm going to attach where a small glass dot where I'm going to attach the stem later on. And the stem is so you don't get burn when you remove this bowl from your pipe. There we go, just set that down. Get that nice and hot so it makes a nice hot seal. And you want to just hit the very tip of the blue so it makes a good attachment, but it doesn't make anything fall out of place. Get some heat in there. Take off the blow hose. There we go. Managed to pop it off. And even the blow hose was against me today. It couldn't even give me a break and just come off when I needed it to at first. Right now I'm going to score the tube. I'm putting on my high heat gloves. These are actually welding gloves, but they are fantastic for glass work. If you do work with borosilicate, I highly recommend getting a pair. They are well worth it. This glass is still like over 500 degrees, but I can touch it safely with these gloves. And I went to get the other one because we're going to snap this glass. I forgot to mention in the beginning, I am using 12 millimeter tubing, and I did mention that we are making a 14 millimeter joint. All I did with my carbide knife was make a score mark, and then I just snapped that glass, and that leaves a very nice clean end for you to make a bowl on. And while I'm getting ready to do that, let's do our dad joke for this video. And the dad joke is, what did baby corn say to mama corn? Where's popcorn? I actually happen to be a popcorn myself. And if you guys could kindly check out my Patreon page, maybe sign up for a monthly subscription, that would be awesome. It does help support me and my kids and me doing stuff like this, so I have the extra time to teach and give over what I know for you guys. So thanks so much for the support. It is greatly appreciated. Now back to flaring out the end. Pretty much you have to make sure you get the heat in the lip. The lip is what's going to move the most, and you have to get that the hottest. And then gradually slide down for gradient heat. This way the lip flares out the most. And get your graphite reamer in there and gently hold it in place. Again, don't muscle the glass. Just be gentle and patient, and you can get it to do what you need it to do. To finish up this project, I'm going to apply the little handle now. Let me know if that actually has a name in the comments. And need to make sure that this is a hot seal. So heat up both pieces of glass. Get them nice and orangey hot. And smush the two together. When you get it to the size you want, you could go ahead and flame cut. And right now I'm just melting it in and making sure everything looks nice and straight. I'm keeping the glass facing down to use gravity. And you can see how that's coming out nice and straight. That's what it looks like so far. Looking pretty good. For a project where as many things went sideways as possible, it's looking really good. So what we're going to do now is first test to see how hot the glass is to make sure we can touch it. Right now you can see in certain spots it's still over 400 degrees, so we do not want to handle this right now. So I'm going to give this a few minutes to cool down. And here we are over at the ring saw. The glass is now safe to touch. And I'm making sure my ring saw has water in it. And I'm just going to slice right across the bottom to open up that tube where it's closed down right now. And this is important to have some kind of saw to do this, or a grinder. This way you could pop that open nice and clean. I'm sure people can do it without, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier to have one. So just go ahead, let the blade do the work. Blade does not cut your skin, so you can handle the glass very close to the blade without any worry. And there we go. See, the bottom is open now and looking very joint-like. We do have some extra glass left over, and we're going to take that down on the grinding machine. Anytime you cut or grind glass, you always need to make sure you have a water supply and that water is running through the machine. Make sure the disc is nice and wet. And then just gently touch the end down and grind down until it's flattened out. It only takes like a couple seconds. This is not a lot of glass that we're moving. removing, I should say. And move back and forth on the wheel. And just use a gentle pressure. You don't have to, like smash this thing to the polishing wheel as hard as you can. So just gently place it on there and let the wheel do the work for you. And when you feel that it's nice and smooth and everything looks good, then you could move on to the next step. And we're about 90% done with this. I'm just going to show it in the camera real quick so you can see how it's shaping up. And you can see how nice and even that glass is now on the bottom. And that's looking really fantastic. And it's still thick and juicy and everything is good to go there. So we're going to put the wheel back on. And now I'm going to go hold the piece at about a 30-degree angle and just gently slide along that lip to get rid of that very sharp edge that we have right now. And that'll add a really nice look to the end of this piece. And it also removes these sharp edges as well that can potentially cut you. So besides looking good, it is also very practical to have. All right, and we are done. And here you can really see where that grinding is done. Nice and smooth, everything looks good. The last step is to test it out in a pipe. We're going to take out the current slide, which someone sandblasted the bottom, so it has a really nice finish to it. You can sandblast it. I don't have a sandblaster, so I just do, I work with the tools I have available. It's really super tight in there and is easy to remove as well, which is awesome. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.